All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Loser. How are you this morning? Real quick, I got to get way better at saying this. If you want to support the show, there's a Patreon link in the description. Even to sign up for $1 or $2 a month really helps me out. So think about it. Also, if you're just really against Patreon, I'll put a PayPal link where you can just do like a one-time donation type thing down there. Like I said, it will really help me out. Okay, today we're going to talk about Jennifer Dulos. And she's been missing for a month now as of 2 days ago. And a little bit of the backstory is her and her husband are just, or her and her ex-husband, whatever, were just rich, just filthy, like East Coast, New York, realty rich. His name's Fotis, or whatever. I'll probably just call him the husband. Fotis, the husband. What's up, Fotis? Fotis, the husband, builds luxury mansions, which comes into play in this case, I think. And so they have all of the houses that they show that are related to this case look like they could be on Mansion magazine or just I'm Rich magazine. Hi, I'm rich. This is my house. It's 5 times bigger than it needs to be. This makes the Chris Watts house look small. But so he builds these luxury houses. They have 5 kids together, 2 sets of twins, which is pretty cool. 2 sets of twins and another kid. So they have 5 kids. They live in the Connecticut. I think they probably have a place in New York City, or at least the grandma does. And so they're just this rich East Coast realty mansion couple with 5 kids. She filed for divorce, I think maybe a year or 2 ago. And in that divorce, she was saying, I'm terrified of my husband. If I divorce him, he's going to do something to me, or if something is done to me, it's him. He's ruthless if he thinks people wronged him. And, just because someone says that in a divorce doesn't mean it's true. People say crazy stuff in child custody battles, but she did say that. And given the circumstances, anyway, so filing for divorce, like I said, she said that he's going to do something to me if I try to divorce him. So a month ago, during this mess of a divorce, he's got a girlfriend at this point too. So a month ago, she drops the kids off at school and hasn't been seen since. Her SUV is found in this forest area. There is a lot of forest and water in this part of the world, in Connecticut, upstate New York area. And as soon as it happened, and I saw on TV where it was, I was like, damn, it is going to be hard to find that body, because it's just a lot of woods and a lot of water. And so her SUV is found in this wilderness area. So her body could be there. So should they spend a ton of resources and time to look for it there, or was it just parked there and she's in the ocean 100 miles away? It's pretty hard to tell. So the SUV shows up by this forest. They search for her furiously, obviously. They find in the house, so she was living they're separated. She's living in a house, and he's got a house, or they got a couple other houses. There's like 4 houses that I've seen on TV that they've put markers on where they're searching and stuff. And I think the reason that complicates things is this is 4 giant properties and houses where you could hide stuff, or that they have to search, or it just spreads out the police resources and makes it a little bit more complicated. It's not common where the person being investigated for murder has 5 mansion properties. And so I think that's one of the things in this case that makes it a little bit different. And so there's 4 houses or whatever, and so there's a lot of places all around those, but it seems like they've narrowed it down to Hartford, Connecticut. So they searched the giant house that she was living in at the time, and in the garage, it was obvious that something completely horrific happened. So there's blood stains everywhere. There's blood splatters everywhere. There's blood stains in the sink of that place. What else? There is his Fotis' blood, the husband. His DNA was found in the sink. His lawyer doesn't seem to think that's too big of a problem, which we'll get to. And there's sponges with blood, and it's obvious that someone tried to scrub it up and all this stuff. So what do the cops know? They know that she is missing. Her SUV is parked by this forest. It looks like a bloodbath nightmare occurred in her garage and was furiously tried to clean up. And then they also, which is nuts to me, they also have what looks to be the husband, Fotis. It looks like they have footage of him driving around over 30 locations, dumping garbage bags into dumpsters. So it would seem like he killed her, or someone helped him kill her, or something. He's got so much money, the sky's really the limit. That's the other thing, is the money in this case just makes it really... They're so rich that any possibility almost needs to be looked at. He could have hired God, he's not just a broke-ass bum that, All right, so anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so 30 different locations, dumping stuff, what looks like to be dumping garbage bags into dumpsters, and also his cell phone GPS, they pulled it, supports that. It shows him driving all over Hartford, dumping garbage bags into different dumpsters. That, to me, seems a little weird, because here's a guy that, he's obviously not a dummy. He builds these houses, and if he's gonna kill his wife, wouldn't you think to not bring your cell phone around? Or, they think it was him and his girlfriend. Wouldn't she not go to make it? I don't know. It almost seems like, I think the SUV in the forest could easily be a diversion. And it almost seems like this could be too. It's like, because now it's been a month and they haven't found her. And now what they're doing is the whole search is they're going through trash in Hartford. There's these huge, landfill trash type processing places. And at this point, just day after day, they're looking through the trash, dogs, and they're sitting there with rakes, and they show them, and it just looks miserable. You're just digging through trash in hopes to find this mom. And their big thing is that there's footage of them driving around, dumping off stuff, and the cell phone supports that. And I just keep thinking, what if they just drove around and were throwing nothing away, or throwing just the tools that they used away and the body somewhere else? It's a strange one. And then also something that really I don't understand is they said that the girlfriend took a polygraph and passed, and they wanted him to take one, and his lawyer handled that by saying, until the state of Connecticut treats him with an even keel attitude and less like a murder suspect, he's not going to talk to him. So that's why, again, he has money. I'm sure he's got a nice, expensive sleazeball lawyer. And so what I don't understand, we all know from watching the Chris Watts polygraph test that they word it so you can't, in your head, say, well, I didn't kill her, but I know who did, but I'm just going to say nope and pass the polygraph. They had to have asked her, do you know where she is, or do you know anyone that does? We saw, there's really, if it's the same type of polygraph that Chris took, there's no real way to worm out of it and in your head be like, well, I don't know. I wasn't the one to do it, but I saw the person that did do it, but I'm not lying. They make it so if she passed the polygraph, wouldn't they ask her, did Fotis do it, or does anyone you know have anything to do with her disappearance? So I don't know how she passed the polygraph. And in the news, they keep just brushing over it. So I don't know. Obviously, he didn't take the polygraph. And, okay, so they're both arrested then on tampering with evidence and hindering the prosecution. Because without a body, they can't charge him with murder yet. And maybe not even enough evidence if there was a body. But possibly with the whole driving around to 30 different dumpsters. So they were arrested and charged with tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution, brought in. The girlfriend made bail that day, $500,000, and is out with a big old fat ankle bracelet so she can't run. And then Fotis, the husband, made bond, I don't know, a week or two later. But he was in jail for a little bit. But now they're both out on bond, like going on jogs in the neighborhood, and people are yelling at him like, where is she? Where is she? Help the cops. Where is she? So you can imagine in a little tiny Connecticut rich person town that it's got to be a strange feeling to be like, hey, I'm out for a jog. My name's Fotis. Going through a little divorce thing right now. But where I think this case gets really interesting is, so they're out on bond for tampering with evidence and hindering the prosecution. Well, that is just so the state can keep them and hold them and have their ankle bracelet on because they want to charge them with murder, but they can't yet. So there's no body. So I think the state is just furiously trying to stall and find this body. And Fotis' lawyer knows this. And so Fotis' lawyer is going, we're ready for trial. I mean, you charged him with tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution. Let's do it. Let's go to trial in August. And I think the state is like, oh, fuck. Like, we don't even care about these two charges. We just wanted to hold him. And so it's this strange where his lawyer is like, we are requesting the state's evidence. And there, again, the state isn't giving it to him, which means I don't think they have any. I think they have his DNA in the sink, the footage of maybe him and his girlfriend driving around to 30 different dumpsters, but she passed the polygraph, and so if she was sitting there while he was throwing away the body, it makes it hard for me to believe that she would pass it, unless they needed Tammy in there. Maybe they didn't have Tammy or the clock. Shit, they needed the clock. But that's a strange one to me, that she passed the polygraph. But yeah, like I said, so his lawyer's like, we want to go to trial on these counts. And if he's found it, and I mean, the state is probably just like, you guys need to get a few more people to dig through the trash, because they can't push off this trial. As soon as it becomes obvious that they're just pushing back this trial and stalling until they can get a murder thing going, I think his high-priced, expensive lawyer will just make a field day out of that. And I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this one. When it first happened, I was like, okay, here we go again. Husband, divorce. She had said she was scared. All this stuff that comes out that he's driving around to dumpsters. I had a pretty good feeling, like, all right, they'll wrap this one up. Sad. And something about the summer. I have a feeling that another one is coming too. Something about the summer and the weather. I think people just go a little nuts. But we'll see how this one pans out. Let me see if I got anything else. Oh, yeah, just as a one, so we won't get an interrogation or anything from Fotis. A big, expensive lawyer will never let their client sit down for 4 hours. But so I always wanted to try to get a read on Fotis somehow. And in 2017, when Jennifer filed for divorce, or she filed for divorce the day before. Anyway, she took the kids and left for New York City, and he called 911, and there's a 4-minute 911 call of him calling in saying, hey, my wife and kids were driving down to New York City, and I haven't heard from them. So I thought, all right, 5 minutes, maybe you can get a little bit of a read on the guy, and I really couldn't. It was kind of a nothing. It was kind of just nothing. At one point, it's a little bit annoying. The 911 dispatcher is trying to get just normal information, and he sounds way far away, and she's like, dude, I can't hear you. And I was feeling that same annoyance that she was feeling. I was like, dude, I was like listening to my computer, like, come on, dude, you're calling in a 911 call for your missing wife and kids, and you're sitting there like, oh, and finally the 911 dispatcher was like, dude, I can't hear you. And he was like, oh, sorry, I'll take you off speakerphone. So other than just being annoying, there wasn't anything that he said that was like, whoa, he's evil, or dude's a nut job, or so I don't know. And now just a month has gone by, so whatever state that her body was in, it's not getting easier to find. So I really hope this dude, if it was him, he doesn't get away with it and just keeps living in a mansion. But anyway, well, I'll keep you updated. Like I said, it's a month in. They're furiously digging through trash to find this lady while his lawyer is going, let's go to trial. We're ready for trial right now. And the state's going, oh, damn. But we'll keep following it. Like I said, if you want to support the channel, there's links in the description. I would appreciate it. I'm going to cut it off there. I hope you're having a good week. See you next time. Why, Stivin, why? Shamita.